All right, we got to do some prep work for tomorrow. Tomorrow's a fishing day for me. Uh, it's early spring, but early spring fishing in my mind is just late winter fishing. And so the box that we prepare for this trip is just a winter fishing box. There'll be some streamer, maybe some streamers, but mainly midges. And what I'm doing now is I'm kind of taking stock of my midge patterns that I have. So something like this guy over here, these got to go out. We're not fishing any worms. And then these big dries, they got to go out. We're not fishing big dries. These are caddis larvae. Always good to keep a little caddis larva in the box, regardless of the season. These guys right here are midge larvae, so we might take a look at those, and I think these are midge dries. These guys over here, they gotta go out. They are, what is the name of that mayfly? Big yellow mayfly. Somebody help me. Can't think of it, but they gotta go out. No big yellows. So let me flip this and take a look. Yeah, no big yellow mayflies. We got some olives. We need a few more olives. I've got plenty of kind of this type of rainbow warrior flashy things. I don't really fish those a lot, but good to have them. I think we'll start with the Bayat olive. Yeah, Bayat olive. Oh, I gotta show you this. This hands down. Yeah, there it is. The greatest midge larva ever. Right here. Maybe a 20, size 20. What I like about this one is that it has a well-defined head, a black head, a segmented synthetic body, larva lace, but the head is really prominent. And like this to me is the gold standard of midge larvas. It doesn't show up very well. So maybe we'll tie a couple of them. But first, olive, Bayat body, olive mayfly. We'll do it on a kind of a curvy hook. And then we'll also do a small mayfly nymph. Curvy hook, yeah. So this is a 20 curvy hook, but the small curvy hooks, even though it's a size 20, it's like this an 18 for a regular hook. I don't know if you can. Oh, that's maybe a little bit better. So it's a size 20 small curvy hook, 18 regular size hook. So let's get started. Bayat body. the buyout body it has nice segmentation, but it also the color. You tie the buyout body for the color of the buyout. If you can get a nice natural color buyout, let me show you what a nice natural color looks like. In the drawer. Natural. Come on, where's the natural? Oh, here's a natural, nice natural. Let's pull this moose too. We'll do a moose midge, moose body midge, and then a nice natural. So this natural biot, it's a brown. I don't actually, it's not, maybe it's dyed. But it's the perfect color for a small mayfly. But maybe we don't do a mayfly today. Maybe we just tie them as midges. Yeah, let's just tie them as midges. So tying it in tip first. Wrap, wrap, wrap. Don't worry about taper. The biot will create the taper on its own. And then wrap just as far as you can. I'll use the hackle pliers. The biot is wide, so it can cover, utilize that length. Don't twist the biot. You could add a thin amount of super glue if you were worried about durability. I'm not. I generally, if I'm fishing midges, I'm changing the fly after every other fish. And there's our body. Let's think about a wing. I said we were going to do an olive mayfly, but this turned into a midge. I keep all of my feather tips, the scraps of the CDC that I cut, and then I use them for the midge wings. This is a nice color here. Oh, and they don't have to be perfect. Here, yeah, this we'll use this one. Tie that in. 1, 2. You could go two tips if you wanted a heavier dress fly. One is plenty. Let's find a matching tip. Here's another matching tip. So we'll use just the tip. And we'll lie that over. 1, 2. And we'll give it a clip. Okay. You could keep the stems for legs or antenna. We'll keep the stems. I'm going to secure this in 1, 2. Now, business decision. So if you do a wrap of thread in between the two tips, you can get the wings display, which is a good look for some patterns, or you can keep the tips together, resting straight back like an adult. The splayed wing is more of a spent style, gives it a larger profile on the water, slow moving water. That can be nice. So you should tie some with the wing swept back, some with the wing splayed. I'll show you how to splay them. So we have 2 tips in there, and I'm just going to do 1 wrap in between. Yeah. You could go back around. It's really not necessary. Just 1 is enough. Let's go back around. All right. And then you kind of help them out a bit. And it spreads them out, kind of V shape. We'll do a little leg action. We'll do the legs a little bit darker than the wing. Here's some scrap. Clip and trim, spin it up. We've done that a lot. Clip and trim. And then we'll spin it up. Split our thread, spin it up. Winter fishing doesn't really suit my style. I'm more of a run and gun kind of guy, but to be an effective winter fisherman, you have to sit on the winter water and methodically cast 20 casts in one spot. That's the secret to midge fishing. Okay, that's way too much, but we'll see how it goes. You're not going to do any wraps behind. If anything, you want to try to knock those wings down a bit. 1, 2. So I have more material than I need. We'll just go with it. Let's pick that out a bit. It looks okay. Knock those off. Knock them off the bottom. Keep a few in front. I'll let that spin out. And then let's whip finish. Whip finish. 1. 2. That's enough. Let's cinch our finish down nice and tight. I'll show you what we got here. There's one little piece that's a little long. Got it. All right. I should angle that down more. But that's our little midge we tied. If you can see it, it's got some splayed wings, just the tips of the CDC, some trash from previous CDC we used. Real quick tie, easy tie. In a bigger size, this would be a caddis. This would be a caddis. Now we'll do a moose body. We'll turn the moose body into a mayfly. And that a mayfly would just be tail and an upright wing. That is all it is. But not on the curvy hook. Do that on the straight hook. Need a small hook. These are all curvy hooks. This might be good. Oh, way too many. More than I need. And we lost them. This is crazy. So I took these flies out and I got one hook that the eye's all jacked up. It's just like a piece of metal. I swear, hooks are biggest rip-off in the industry. All right, let's get this a little bit further down so you can see better. All right. Same material we used last time. We'll use the CDL, Coq de Lion, for our tail fibers. 2-3 fibers is enough. We'll do 2. And then, oh, we got to start our thread. What the heck? Start the thread. Positioning it to the right of the shank, and then loose wrap, and the material will roll on top. Just like that. That's way too long. We'll give it a pull. That's good. Tie it down. 2 tail fibers. Give it a trim, moose body. Such a nice dry fly body material. 2 should be enough. Give it a trim. We'll do tip first. Tip first toward the eye. Tips toward the eye. If you start tying in low, your body will be lumpy. The taper won't be correct. So start tying high, and then as you go down the body, your thread wraps don't have to be super, super tight because you're going to go back over it. So now we're at the end, coming back around. A little drop of super glue would help with durability. Wrapping. The moose mane gives good segmentation, slim body. Definitely overlooked dry fly body material. Midge. Oh, mayfly too. You just throw in like 4 moose mane hairs and wrap them to get it a little bit thicker. Let's lock it down. Let's think about a wing. We did poly wings last time. Do we do feather? No, I don't like feather tip wings. We could do mallard wing if we have the right colored mallard. Like an olive mallard or darker mallard. I think I saw one actually. Yeah, right here. Right here. This is a nice color. So a little bit darker than the natural. We'll just use one side. The mallard feathers are always concave. And so you'll want that cupped end facing toward the eye. Obviously tips as even as you can. Nice barred. So the tips are here. I'm holding the butts, and then it's kind of curving up. So we'll tie it in. The tie-in needs to be exactly. CDC you can adjust. Polypropylene you can cut, but you try to pull on the mallard and the fibers get all messed up. So you need to tie it in where you want it. And then after you tie it in, don't mess with it. So there we go. Tips pointing forward. You could do tips pointing back. You definitely could do tips pointing back, but your wings are going to be leaning back a little bit. If there's any lean, I want them leaning forward. I don't know why, but that's just the way I like it. Give it a trim. Another thing with the mallard is you can split them. Like a Hendrickson has a split mallard wing. I'm not. So I'm going to just try to have a post, a couple wraps in front, and then a couple behind. So they're kind of sticking up. The mallard doesn't really float well, so you'll need I'll come in with a little CDC hackle behind the mallard wing. But good little mayfly. The alternative would just have been a CDC tip, which would have been fine. For this one, we'll blend it. We'll do 2 colors of CDC. So we'll do the natural, and then behind the natural, we'll put the dark because we used the dark on our last fly. And then in terms of material, I'm not going to use all of the feather. I'm just going to use a section, and we'll clip it. So we clip them together, one on top of the other. There's 2 feathers clipped in there. Give it a trim. Like you blend the colors of like the grizzly is a brown or the Adams is a brown and a grizzly, 2 hackles blended together. You can do the same thing with CDC. Blend 2 of them together, split your thread, insert your material. We've done this a million times. And spin it up. And give it a spin. Run your index and thumb up, spin it up. I'm going to preen this one because I don't want them sitting too wild. I want to know what I got. Because I don't want them to mess with the wings, so I'm preening back. So now all my fibers most of my fibers are facing in the same direction. Okay, now let's wrap behind. We'll do majority of our wraps behind. 1, 2, let's preen a little bit. 3, 4, 5 behind. Now let's go in front. Oh, no. Let's do 2 in front. 1. Yeah, there we go. Now we'll build up the head. Let's let the thread unwind. The CDC is nice because you can manipulate it. We want the abdomen, good abdomen separation from the hackle. So I'm just brushing the fibers toward the wing, toward the eye of the hook, and now I'm going to trim them out. Not uniform, but just here and there. A little wildness is good. Even if they're longer than the wing, no problem. I am going to knock the bottom off a bit so it sits well. That's a little bit too heavily dressed. Knocks them off the sides here. Yeah, that's good. That'll fish, and now we'll build that head more, 2 wraps, and then we'll finish. So we did a biop body midge with spent wings, and this is a little mayfly Datus with an upright mallard wing and moose body moose main body. What's next? A midge. We have to do a midge larva and a mayfly nymph, little mayfly nymph, small mayfly nymph. That's on the docket. There we go, finished. Let me show you what we got. That's what we got, our little mayfly, nice tail. A little bit heavy with the hackle in the back, but it'll still fish. It'll still fish. Let's put that one down. I'll show you the midge we tied earlier. The midge has a buyout body, and then you can see the wings are kind of a V-shaped spent wing. If you fish this, the wings will spread out more. That's what we got for our midge. Now we'll do a midge larva. The midge larva, the hook is important. So a down eye dry fly hook for a midge larva, not the way to go. If you're going to use a straight hook, it should have a straight eye. I don't have any of those, right? Maybe I do, but I'm not going to look. But a good alternative would be the curved hook, the curvy hook we used earlier. Those are good too. Here we go. Yeah, this was good. So this hook has a straighter eye, and that's what you want for your midge larvas. Don't ask me why, but the down eye dry fly hook, not the way to go. And we'll tie it in. Start the body. The midge larva also, like when you're fishing, you would need some kind of anchor. You could do like a drop shot style with the midge as a tag, or you could do, but like just midge. The weight, first of all, weight is going to mess things up, and then a bead head is also going to mess things up. But you could, so if you have let's say this is your line, you could do a anchor on the bottom and then have your midge on top. I think that would be the way to go. Yeah. Or 2 split shots on the bottom and then your midge up top. That would be the way to go. But freestyle on a midge, I don't know if you do that. I've never done it. Or you could put the midge trailing behind, but I've never had success as like just a midge dropper. It's never worked for me. So the body, this is good. So the thread, we're using a brown thread, dark brown thread. You could use black or darker olive, and then we'll use an olive rib over the brown thread, and you'll get a nice dark color. Olive rib over the brown thread. So let's get her started. Get some of the rib material going. The tying in the vinyl material is difficult. Getting that nice uniform body is difficult. If you tie it in straight, you'll have buildup. So I like to either melt it, but that's hard with this thin diameter larva lace. So I'm going to just stretch it. I'm going to stretch it out as far as I can. Just the first section, I'm stretching it. The back, I left it. The front, I'm stretching it. And it'll help us with the tie-in, and then it'll help us with the aesthetic, a little bit better taper on the body. So tie it in close to the eye, wrap, 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 and then, so we want a nice slim body. Now we'll start wrapping. The butt is the stretched section, and it'll taper to the fuller section toward the top, toward the head. And then we will, what I like is a nice glossy dark head, because we're using a brown, and then significant, not just like a little buildup. It should be a proper head. So I think that's good. There's space between the eye and the larva lace, vinyl rib rather. This is vinyl rib. And then we'll give it just a slight tug, and then we'll trim it off. Now we'll build the thread to make our head. Build, build, build. That's good. So thread head, larva, or vinyl rib body will hit the head with a little, maybe we don't have to. It'd be chocolate head Midge. You'll want some kind of finish on the head. UV. I'm just going to use a nail polish. So we'll give it a little brush, not on the body. Don't do the body. Just do the head. I'll give it a little, just slight, just to give it a little finish, little gloss. That's way too much. We got to toothpick that out. Or maybe it will roll itself out. If we rotate, it's not. Let's get rid of some of that. That's not bad. Yeah, there we go. Now that has to dry. And that is premium Midge. Don't put flash on her. Nope. Just a little stick floating in the water. I'll give you a better look. There's our little Midge. And then you'll pair this with a small mayfly nymph, is how I would do it, like on a 1 point something millimeter bead, something slight, and then not too flashy. If you're going flashy, just go flashy, skip the midge. But if you're fishing with the midge, nice, simple mayfly nymph, light bead, and then light wool indicator. That'd be the way to go. That's the way I would do it. That's the way I would do it, because you're gonna be making that cast again and again and again and again and again and again. You don't want to put the fish off by splashing or the indicators present. Uh, that's the secret to midge fishing, is just again and again and again and again, again and again. Let's put this one on, clip it, or we'll stick it in foam and then it'll dry. Gotta dry. So we'll set that one off to dry. Now we'll do our little mayfly. So I'll do the nymph to pair with this midge. Blue's a good color for the vinyl rib as well, like a darker thread over under the blue vinyl rib. That looks good too. All right, so we have a 18 jig hook. We'll get a tiny little bead. We got some. These are 2 mil beads, which is small enough. Midge water slow. Midge water slow. So you don't, the big heavy beads are for fast water, deep fast water. The midge water might be fast or might be deep, but it'll be slow. So you'll have time, proper mend. You don't need super heavy fly. I put the bead on backwards. A pheasant tail would be good. A wee pheasant tail. You could just do the vinyl rib with the tail. You just do the vinyl rib on this, and I think that would be fine enough as well. But we'll do a little pheasant tail. A little 18 pheasant tail nymph. This one you want to taper, so build the thread up behind the bead and then tapering down toward the body. And that's good. Pheasant tail. What the color? I've got this burnt orange, which I like. This is a good one. Or we could do a go natural. Or let's do natural. Legs. Three fibers for the tail. And then, so the dry fly tails I like long, but the nymph tails should be short. I think people tie them a little too long. The pheasant tail isn't perfectly in line. And we don't want them stuck together, so I'm separating them out. That's good enough. Separating them out. Measuring. Let's get our thread back up. Tie from the top. That's too long. And draw it back, draw it back. That's good. Now we'll wrap the tail. And the last wrap, I'm going to spin my thread up a bit. If you make the last wrap tight, the tail will hopefully splay. Not doing it right now, but it's not necessary. That's good. You could use this bit for the body, but I think it's going to be too much buildup. So you could tie it back and then wrap that back in, but I'm not. I'm frugal, but I'm not that cheap. We'll trim it out. We'll do some new pheasant tail. 4 fibers is plenty. Do you copper rib? Copper rib. So like a small pattern like this, I don't think needs it, but let's maybe. Yeah, we'll do it. I'm seeing if the copper rib I have is if there's a difference in diameter. This one looks thin. I don't know what brand this is, and it's not so bright. There's some copper is super bright. This one's a little bit dull. This UTC is even duller, but I feel like it's thicker. The thicker gauge. So we'll go with the thin, dull, no brand copper wire. We'll tie it in starting at the top here. Not all the way to the back. Little gap between the rib and the butt. And then we'll do some pheasant tail. 4 fibers is plenty. You can do 3. We're going to tie these in tip first. And we'll give it, I've pulled them so I don't have to cut. That's good. We lost one. Now we have 3. Oh, no, we lost all of them. What the heck? We gotta do this again. I don't know what happened. Maybe they ripped. Take those tips off. And work it back. Now I'm going under the copper wire. And one more wrap to finish. Now I'm back over the copper wire, heading back toward the bead. Let's wrap the pheasant tail. So when I wrap the pheasant tail, I'm gonna wrap it and then hold it with my finger and then work it around the wire point. I'm gonna wrap it and hold it. Work it around, hold. Now we're in the clear, but we'll still continue. Wrap it and hold it. Wrap it and hold it. And finish. Tail's looking weak, but that's okay. That's okay. Lock that in. And trim it out. Okay, so when you tie and wrap, you're going clockwise. But for your rib, the rib should be counter. It's a counter wrap. So if you're wrapping the pheasant tail clockwise, you should wrap the rib counterclockwise. So it actually traps the material. There's 1 wrap, there's 2 wraps, and 3 wraps finished. We'll tie it off. And I cut my wire with the scissors because I am a heathen. I don't know why people helicopter the wire. Seems risky. No wing case. This is an 18 with a 2 mil bead. No wing case. If you try to do a wing case, you are an animal. This is all, we did some extended body peacock, and this is all the peacock I used for the extended body. We saved it. And we'll do one is enough, but two, I guess, because we're feeling generous. The tip of the hurl, you get a better wrap. The base is stronger, but the fur, peacock hurl fur, is less dense. It's more dense toward the top, so you get a nicer wrap. So I'm going to time and tip first. Give that thread a spin, two peacock hurl, tips tied in. One, oh, we lost one, that's okay. We'll go with one. Oh, we lost both. Let's get them back in there. I see why we lost it, because my wire's kind of sticking out. Let's fix that. All right, fixed it. Get our peacock again. Tie him in with plenty to spare this time. We'll trim it out. Okay. And then we'll give it a wrap. One. Keep losing them. 2, 3, because we lost it, and we'll go ahead and finish. Tighten it down. 1, 2. No hot spots. That's good. So tying the peacock in tip first, obviously you get a better wrap, but you get a weaker tie-in point. But I don't care. Because I'm all about that taper. Minimal thread buildup between the bead and the peacock. And the tail turned out better than I thought. Man. All right, so here is our little pheasant tail. And we'll pair this with our midge that we tied. So we fish these two together if we're nymphing. And then our dries that we tied. We have our midge with displayed wings, which we like. And then we have our upright mallard wing batis with the moose body that we also like. And I think I'm ready to go. I think that's it for today. We did 4 flies. We did a small pheasant tail, midge larva, and midge adult, and a mayfly adult, small mayfly adult. So we're gonna stop it here. Alrighty. Au revoir.